I think we're live.
I think so too. Good afternoon.
Everyone excited to be here? All those people in the stream? Thousands and thousands out there watching us this afternoon?
And those who are tuning in to the replay on YouTube.
That's right. It's saved for posterity's sake.
We are here at round 2 at the Wicked Dicey Ironweld GT. And we have Marcella and Frederick. I'm going to actually flip these names so it's a little easier to tell.
Oh, yes.
So
Perfect. And we have a interesting matchup of Feck before their glow up in the new book.
And do they need a glow up? Do they need a glow up?
I think we'll find out. I'm very interested in seeing against a Ironjawz army.
I am so excited for this matchup. Both players here are 1-0. They've won their first matches, and we have two very non-meta armies right now: Ironjawz and Flesh Eater Quartz.
Yep.
So I was absolutely pumped to see this matchup happen in the pairings. And I know everybody is wanting to watch zombies and Soulblight, but we'll hold that off as long as we can.
Fun fact, 200 zombies don't do very well on stream. Can't really tell what everything is.
Yeah. Sergio and Tom Ling did pair up this round,
Oh,
so there is over 200 zombies on that table.
That is going to be... I hope their backs are okay at the end of that.
The mission itself, I cannot remember the name. I'm trying to find this one. I believe this is Only the Worthy. Yes, this is Only the Worthy. So your territory is split directly in half, left to right. There are 4 objectives on table. Your standard: hold 1, hold 2, hold more. If a Galician champ is contesting an objective, then only Galician champions... you know what? I'll just read the rules exactly as it is.
There you go.
So while there are any Galician champions within 6 of an objective, only Galician champions can contest that objective. In addition, no more than 1 Galician champion from the same army can contest the objective at the same time. So Marcella has, I think, 4 champs in her list, because she's got 4 true Ironjawz players.
I'm just going to take this microphone and put it on the table, because Marcella would just comment on herself.
So Marcella, with a slight advantage in champs here, her list, absolute Ironjawz pork right here.
Now, is she running that in Bloodtooths?
Absolutely. Is there another sub-faction in that book?
I ran Iron Suns for a while because the countercharge thing was really fun, but it's more brutes, and it just is one of those shenanigan plays versus a actual
throw Kragnos and Iron Suns?
Yep. It was super fun. 3d6 brutes, but yeah, I actually just got done playing a couple of events in a row with Ironjawz playing Bloodtooth, so it's a lot of fun. The shenanigans you can pull are fantastic.
So Marcella is running Bloodtooth. She's got the standard Mega Boss on Maw Crusher with the Rip Tooth for the 3-up save.
Nope.
Fast Stun for the Mount trait for the extra hero phase movement. The Arcane Tome so he can Mystic Shield himself for some extra durability.
Always fun.
She's got the little Mega Boss on foot with the Destroyer Axe.
Yeah, that guy can do some work in the right situation.
And he's got Tunnel Master on him. So that way, Tunnel Master, nice cheeky trick here you can do here in Ironjawz is instead of a normal move, you can teleport 9 inches away. Now, if you Mighty Destroyers, you get a normal move in your hero phase, which means you could teleport that Mega Boss in your hero phase, and he still gets to move in your movement phase to effectively give him a 5-inch charge wherever he wants.
Yeah, as long as you watch out for the redeploys on that, that can be very, very strong. Again, having played this very recently and having that exact guy, he can go in and do some work. The one issue is that he does very often he's always 3s and 3s usually, unless you're getting him all buffed up, and if 3s and 3s can really hurt when you don't actually get him through with his 8 attacks.
Very true.
And also only rend 1, so anything that's super defensive, you kind of want to pick the right target for it, but you can do 30 wounds.
She's also got a shaman with the Bash 'em Lads for the +1 to wound rolls aura, which is very important there. That's
Really good on the pigs, especially if you got those 6 packs of pigs that are buffed up with +1 damage from the War Chanta. Get them in there and +1 to wound, all out attack. Your 2s and 2s with just a ridiculous number of very high quality attacks.
And 2 War Chantas just clapping them bones, giving them the get 'em beat for 3d6 charge and a fix and beat to heal them up.
Yep. And that's really important because with a lot of multi-wound models, the being able to heal can be a huge benefit as time goes on.
And then to round it out, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 units of piggies. 2 of them are reinforced.
So we've got 6, 6, 3, 3. So we went from a beef battle last time to here comes the pork.
Here come the pork. So a good old Iron Jaws piggy list, and she'll be facing off against a Blister Skin, which I consider to be the Death Pigs.
The Death Pigs. Okay, I like it. Live pigs versus Death Pigs.
We got Blister Skin, which is giving every one of those Flesh Eater Quartz models an extra 2 inches of movement, and a big block of 9 flayers.
The flayers can absolutely do some damage, and I'm pretty sure there's a way, although I don't remember the exact mechanic, to get them back after they die.
Not the whole unit,
but you can refill them.
There is a Crypt Infernal Courtier in there, so at the start of his hero phase, he will be able to pick a Slayer unit if it's within 6, roll 6 dice, and every 5 up you get to just bring a Slayer back. There's also a heroic action now in Flesh Eater Quartz, but I believe it's only able to be done on the Flesh Eater Quartz player's turn, which is Muster, where he can essentially do the same thing with a non-Courtier unit.
Right. And I believe that model that Frederick put down kind of center at the top of the screen is a Kronspine?
That is a Kronspine.
It's important for the folks at home because you can't quite tell.
It is a very custom Kronspine. Not everybody is a fan of the GW model. It's very rare that you actually see the GW Kronspine because it's something.
It's fairly rare. It's fairly expensive, and there's so many good conversion opportunities with it. I know I was running in the old Gits. I was running a Colossal Squig, which may they rest in peace, as my Kronspine, properly based, of course.
So our Flesh Eater Court player is running a Blister Skinless with the important Archregent. He is going to be somewhere on the table, probably by the throne. His War Scroll spell adds D3 extra attacks, which, on a unit of 9 flayers or the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist that he's got in his list is going to give an odd of extra special damage. He's also got the Lore of Madness Deranged Transformation, which, if you cast it on those flayers, essentially gives them 4 extra inches of movement. So those flayers can get up to like an 18-inch movement.
We're going to see some real movement shenanigans this game. It's going to be interesting because you're going to have the flayers moving super fast. You've got the Terrorgeist moving very fast. You've got a Kronspine, which can move quite quickly. And then you've got pigs and all their movement shenanigans. So it's going to be interesting to see how fast. I suspect this game is going to crash in and go one way or another fairly quickly.
I'm expecting a lot of bloodbath in the first 2 turns, and then we'll probably slow it down from there. That Archregent also has the Fueled by Gurish Rage, so if he dies on a 3-up, he ain't dead yet. He ain't hear no bell.
Yeah, exactly. Not quite dead yet.
He's also got the Abhorrent Ghoul King on Royal Terrorgeist as a general with the Hellish Orator, which is that is in your hero phase on a 4-up, I believe you get an extra command point, and then the artifact Eye of Hish is a bubble of -1 to be hit from shooting. And those are a command trait and artifact that you have to take if you're Blister Skin.
Well, I think if my calculations are correct, Marcella has 4 shots in her whole list.
Well, they're going to be -1 to hit now, won't they?
They're going to hit on 3s then, because he's a yelly, shouty boss man.
Woo. And then a Crypt Infernal Courtier. Nothing special on him, just there to bring back some more flayers. For Battle Line, a big brick of 9 flayers, 2 units of Crypt Ghouls, and then a Kronspine bound to the Archregent. And that is the entire list. Now, the Flyers are in Galician veterans, so they will get extra.
Because they only have
ranks
a
of
1-inch
attack.
range,
Yeah.
and they're on 40s, so it makes it
They're
pretty
on 50 mil
They're on
bases.
50?
Yeah.
All the more reason.
Also important with the Flyers is they do have shooting attacks that go after your bravery.
Right.
So each model there, so that's basically 9 shots, is 2d6, and then you take mortal wounds equal to the difference between that die roll and your bravery.
Right.
It's -2 to the roll if you're not in combat with them, but you know, Ironjaw is not very known for their bravery.
I believe the pigs are a 6 stock.
I think so.
I think so, and most of the heroes are around the same.
They find themselves in combat, even an Unleash Hell.
Yep.
If a pig unit charges in, could just get picked up from an Unleash Hell by players.
Right. The only thing that certainly is in Marcella's column for that is the off charge phase charges. Right, so Bloodtooths get a lot of charging at the end of the combat phase, or Mighty Destroyers to charge out of turn and out of sequence, and that always screws that up. So we'll see if that comes into play here, but that's certainly a trick to counter that a little bit. But if not, 6 pigs going in there, you could lose a couple of pigs before you even swing.
So Frederick has aggressively deployed his Charnel Throne because if you're within 12 of it, you cannot ignore Battle Shock Test. Oh, we have our first battle tactic. Marcella has chosen Frederick to go first. There was the handshake. I believe she has said that she's letting him go first. So.
All right, so we'll see how this goes.
Marcella, always a very quiet player, part of tough crowd, not known for being a loud, rowdy bunch.
No, not at all. They're I don't see any air horns in the room though, so it could still change. Oh, the chat's up there. Okay, because I was gonna pull it up on my phone, but I'll save my battery.
So we're probably going to get a different battle tactic because the only eligible objective for Cunning Maneuver is the one with Marcel's entire army on it.
Yes, yeah, and this is one of those scenarios where because the territory is half the table, it needs to be wholly outside of your territory versus partially. So
we will likely just see a Desecrator lands come out turn 1.
Because that piece, actually, there's 3 pieces across the middle are all ripe for that. No, I don't know. There's no book battle tactics for Feck, right? Yeah. Okay. There are. Okay.
There are. They have
lead the assault.
Lead the assault for the new battle tactic, Flesh Eater Quartz. With Flesh Eater Quartz do have 3 battle tactics available to them in their book. I believe that came out in a White Dwarf.
Oh, did it? Yes, that was.
Yeah, I think they're like the last remnants. So lead the assault if he's got at least 2 of the objectives that are in enemy territory, and each are contested by a friendly Galician champion. So he's gonna have to put.
He's got 2 GCs real far up there.
Yep, and he's got to put them on each one of those objectives. Here comes the spells, and Marcella's only Unbind.
Well, she has 2 because she has
2 because Arcane Tome.
Yep.
The book.
The book. It used to be nice when the book was you could take the Basham Lads on the Maw Crusher and cast it because then you have a nice pylon of 16 inches of +1 to wound.
These tough crowders are already knocking the objectives all over the place.
Dice have been coming on and off the table.
Unbelievable.
The mystical terrain was knocked over.
Come into the Wicked Dicey event
and
behave like this.
Place.
We've already got 1 Go Fred. What about Go Marcella? Do we have any Go Marcellas in the chat?
It's implied. Everyone roots for Marcella.
Everyone, okay. So we got 1 for Fred. Everybody else Marcella.
Although, honestly, I'm rooting for both of them because they're both fantastic people.
They're actually, that's true. a special guest at our table, Corey, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yes. The man responsible for this. Oh, I see you're charging something, Corey. I've got it.
So these are the ghouls advancing up to attempt a screen for that arch regent that's just tagging that objective. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think what's going to have to happen here is the Kronspine's going to have to move up and sit right behind that screen because a bunch of pigs will just go in, crash in, 2-inch reach, I believe,
Yeah. Yep.
and they'll be able to just pick up that arch regent.
They will, yeah.
But on a 3-up, they'll still say,
That's
I'm
right.
still here.
Still here. And then
I
as
ain't
long
quite
as
done yet.
yeah, well, the only trick there is if you send in the three pig units, then you can fight with one and not use Smasher and Bash them to fight with the other, so you have a chance of getting kind of that double hit on them. So even if they do use Gurish Rage, you can kill them in the second go.
So Marcella will not be able to score either of those center objectives until she kills that regent or the fighter that will be moving up to capture that objective on your left. If you look carefully at the top of your screen, you can also see part of Frederick's hair. Absolutely beautiful head of hair on this man.
And he was wearing a hat earlier, I believe.
And there's the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. Interesting placement for him to be that far over, so he won't be wholly within 24. So if he goes neck at the top of 2, he won't have the range to receive the plus D3 attacks from the Arch Regent.
Oh, right.
Same like these flayers might be slightly out of range. 24 is a pretty massive bubble.
It's huge.
But we'll see how this one plays out. So still deciding where he wants to bring his summons on. And it looks like he's going to bring on a unit of 3 fighters from that Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. It is a war scroll ability. It's a command point. The end of your movement phase, once for battle, you can summon one, I think it's a knight unit, which is basically flayers or horrors.
Yep.
And in this matchup, basically flayers, because
Yeah.
they're going to do more work. It's very rare that you ever want to summon on the horrors.
Yeah. The flayers really are the play there, and it seems like everyone's kind of gone to that. Well, for all of those who are playing Feck in the current meta.
Although now the new zombie meta, those horrors are going to do way more work.
That is true. Anything that doesn't have a save.
Yeah. So if you ever run Flesh Eater Courts under the current book, always a good idea to bring both flayers and horrors with you. So now he's still thinking because while the core rules say you can't use the same command ability more than once in the same phase, the command ability off the the Regent is different than the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist.
Oh, it's one of those where it has a subtle difference in the name of it, but so
it's a different
does the same
name,
thing?
but it doesn't. It also does a slightly different thing because the Regent has the option of bringing on either 3 flyers, or it can bring on a block of 20 ghouls or a courtier.
Oh, okay, interesting. Oh, so it's possible he could get another GC out there.
Yeah, he could just summon another GC. Which, in a mission like this, I think you absolutely want to bring that on, especially with the 9 flyers too, to be able to muster them back up.
Yep, absolutely.
But muster, you can only do on your own turn, so if Marcella doubles into that, she could lift all of those little flappy boys.
Yeah, and the flayers only have a 5-up save, so basically against the pig top attacks, they're getting nothing even without a Wog. And if there's a Wog, the Maw Crusher will pick up a lot of them. Actually, the Destroyer Lord into those guys, if the opportunity presents itself, is pretty solid.
There's a lot of measuring going on to see for Marcella's cheeky little Destroyer axe, where she can teleport. believe that was the end of top of 1. So we'll have big ol' 5 points on the board. And we'll be going into Marcella's turn. So, bottom of 1.
Bottom of 1.
The big old Bloodtooth.
Yep. Well, this is the time that Bloodtooths can shine. Well, the good thing about a Kronspine is that you can't pick them up in one turn, right? So it's at least going to be there for 2 rounds of fighting. Yep. It's always going to swing back.
And it looks like he elected not to use the Regent's Summon, which I think is a bit risky.
Oh, and the Regent is on the right, protected by a handful of ghouls.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd call that protected.
Well, yeah, okay. Fair.
He's hanging with some ghouls. Marcel thinking over a battle tactic. Very unusual here that we have an orc player thinking. So, see if it's
as an
big
orc
strategy.
player, I resemble that remark.
The counter desecrate here. So, Marcella going to desecrate the piece of terrain all the way on our left.
Which it looks like there's only one character there, so she would need 2 pigs.
Oh, that is the Regent on that side. Hold on, I'm gonna just clarify. I think that's the Regent on the left side, right below the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. It's not the Regent on
I
the
believe so, yeah. I think you're right.
Yep, that is the Arch Regent there. So we had them backwards. The Arch Regent is on the objective on the left, and it's the Crypt Infernal Courtier that's on his own on the right-hand side. So that right-hand side probably just going to get smashed to pieces this turn by pigs. That's probably going to be Marcella's priority to just wipe that side, make sure that there's an objective that she can control. Because as long as the Regent is contesting the objective on the left-hand side, Marcella cannot capture that. So, a lot of measuring here, checking 9 inches where the Mega Boss on foot can teleport to.
It's an interesting conundrum with that guy because he can come in and absolutely demolish something, but do you do it now? Do you save it for later? Because he does have a 3-up and 7 wounds, and if he kills something, he gets a wound back. So you can end up having 8 wounds. 3-up save is pretty good. No mortal wound save. So you send him into the right unit, and he can absolutely demolish it. But if you use it too early, he gets stuck because he's also only moved 4. So after that initial Tunnel Master, he's a waddling little guy.
And just because you have the Destroyer Axe doesn't mean you really need to pop it right away.
Yeah, and the plus
there's a play where you Tunnel Master to the right objective and say, my pigs are going to go scoop up that Crypt Infernal Courtier. I'm going to have a Galician Champ on this objective, and you're not going to get in there. Yeah. And if you want to get in there, he fights on death.
And you stick him in terrain. That's exactly what I was going to say, is he fights on death. So the only complication is you have to pick popping the axe at the start of the combat phase. Yep. So if, depending on how other things play out, you may use it and then something else swings the wrong way, or you may smash him and bash him off of him, or he could just miss. But it's a really fun tool, and I'm glad that it's something not that Ironjawz needed that many more tools in their toolbox, but it certainly helps.
Oh, and there we go. The Mighty Destroyers is happening, and it looks like she wants to just bring them on and absolutely tango.
Yeah. And he's tough. I don't know if that terrain, I don't think they defined anything as garrisonable. I'm not sure on the table map. I think there was a choice of putting something that way, but if it's not, then that building there is a big piece of impassable too, so that'll limit the number of attacks that can actually come in on the Mega Boss should he sit there and then get countered by flares.
Can you imagine garrisoning 9 flares?
Yeah, Yeah, it would. It'd be brutal to deal with. -1 to hit, +1 armor.
Which it is doable because garrison rules typically are the number of models that can garrison in a piece.
Correct. Of less than 10 wounds. Yeah, I've had trolls. In fact, actually, in one of the games I played, I put my 6-man unit of pigs in a building.
I had to
Turned out it was a mistake, but
I
it
had
was
to play
fun.
a fly mirror last year, and I used my pregame move to get a unit of 4 all within range to garrison something, and my opponent took the bait and moved within range so I could garrison it and have it right in combat.
That's actually really good because the flies are already tough, and all of a sudden you're giving them +1 armor and -1 to be hit. Like, yes, please.
So here comes our movement phase.
The real one.
Are we surprised by this? There are pigs that are advancing forward.
Shocked.
Did anybody see this coming?
Nope.
What an absolute twist. The 3-inch widgets are coming out. So as a reminder here,
Yeah, two widgets are used all the time for Iron Jaws. It's your 9-inch and 3-inch. You really don't need a tape measure because pigs move 9.
yeah.
So as long as you have 9 and 3, and then, I mean, your foot guys move 4. So no one's moving that fast.
As a reminder here, we do have other game systems happening. We got 40K, Marvel Crisis Protocol, Infinity, Star Wars Legion, Conquest, Armada, and I think I actually remembered them all.
Yeah, and then kind of back table more time.
Back table more time, as it should be.
Exactly.
And we do have,
Oh, board games. John Costa's running a room full of folks playing board games today, which is great. So.
and there's paint and sip happening.
Yep. Or didn't that happen last night?
Yes.
I mean, I guess you could paint and sip wherever you are.
Whenever, wherever, we're meant to sip together. And for the second round in a row, we have Chaos Knights on stream next to us.
Is that a meta thing that's going on now for?
I have
no idea.
No one understands 40K.
I have a whole Death Guard army. I've got like 5,000 points of Death Guard. Played it for a little while and very quickly lost interest. And Sigmar picked me back up.
So Marcella did redeploy the Arch Regent off of the Pig
Frederick
movement.
redeployed the Arch Regent off of the Pig move.
No, always off the Mega Boss move. Because Mega Boss moved.
Oh.
Redeployed the Arch Regent off the objective. Which now means that that's Marcella's objective.
Yeah, the challenge here actually is looking at the table state. If either the pigs get a long charge or the Mega Boss charges, if he gets a decent enough charge, he could actually loop around the corner and maybe even still get that Arch Regent. But he doesn't need a very long charge because he can hit those ghouls and then use the pile-in swivel to get there.
Could.
I think. I can't quite tell in the distance on the overhead, but it's feasible.
So the real question will be, will Marcella be able to take this right objective? She has advanced up a little bone clapper, Warchana, clapping them bones.
Such good pieces in the Iron Jaws army, and then in the current meta with the GCs, they're just, I mean, they're even better.
You're already taking one on list?
Yep.
And you're telling me it gets
probably taking
better?
2, yeah.
That means it's twice as effective. You're taking our 2 already.
Yep, exactly. And you get your 3d6-inch charge chant on one of them, and you get your fix and beat on the other.
Ladies and gentlemen, we did the math here at Wicked Dicey. We're doing it all. Mega Boss on Maw Crusher, still staying reserved. Don't want to commit that too early because there's that Kron Spine and the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist.
Yeah, and that's the big thing with the Maw Crusher, and actually bringing the Foot Boss with the Destroyer gives you that threat push out without using your Maw Crusher, which in the past you'd have to use the Maw Crusher or 6 pigs and really put them up there fast, but now you have a 140-point Mega Boss on foot. He's able to do it. And if he dies, he's 140 points, and you still have the rest of your army.
Yep, he's only got a once per use artifact, so
No, he does still have 8 attacks that are 3s and 3s, rend 1, 2 damage a pop, and he gets +1 attack every time he kills something and +1 wound, so he's not a pushover even without the destroyer.
oh, here's where I'm concerned, because if this player unit unleashes hell, Marcel doesn't have a whole lot of charges in here,
Oh, yeah.
so something could just get eaten by an unleash, and then that's it. She just lost a unit for nothing.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. Oh, and this is the standard pig diamond formation, the flower petal. Not so important on 3s, but once you get to 6 pigs, any of the larger cavalry has to do this, kind of in and then slightly sideways in order to stay in coherency.
2 impact mortal wounds here. Flesh Eater Courts do have an army-wide 6 up ward save. It used to be having to be wholly within 12 of a hero, but one of the prior kind of War Scroll updates changed that to just army-wide 6 upwards.
Well, that's good. They need more than that, but they needed it because they don't really have any armor, right? So ghouls, I think, are 6 up.
What if they win this game? Would they really need anything more love?
Oh, that's true. That's true. I don't know the schedule of when the new book's supposed to come out, but I think it's right around the corner.
I think Cities is this summer, and then the next, Death release, which, oh no, is it Flesh Eater Courts? Is it not? Is it the only Death Army that still needs a book? Is either fall or winter. And it'll be amazing. Every army that we have will have a current edition book.
Yeah, and they've been churning through the books pretty fast, so it's good. So the 3-man pig did charge in. Frederick did not unleash hell. I don't know if they got within 3. Yeah, see, that's what I was concerned about. A long charge. So this is where actually the unleash hell.
This might be a bad idea because we have an unleash hell probably coming onto this mega boss on foot. She's still deciding where she wants to end up. She's measuring the flayers because if she charges the ghouls, she can still 3-inch pile in.
Yep.
So she's trying to minimize the amount of flayers that are gonna go.
Yeah.
Because if she ends within 3 of them, they no longer have to subtract 2 from those dice rolls.
Oh, right. But also, I think she's measuring the 6 inches because she can charge in a way that only a few of them would be able to overwatch, right? It's a large unit, so only 3 of them shoot like overwatching. But although one of those pops off and he rolls boxcars minus the bravery, you lose the guy. Yeah. So I don't think an unleash hell happened.
Nope. Seems like they've elected to no unleash. I think Frederick was probably a little low on command points to start because he did have to go take the top of turn.
Right.
He did spend 1 for an auto run. He did spend another to, I think, just auto teleport one of his flying units, and then the summon cost a command point.
Oh yeah, so that would be 3. So.
And he also spent 1 on a redeploy.
That's true. So he might not even have any. Oh no, if he didn't have any, then Marcella wouldn't have spent the time measuring.
So now here we go. 3 pigs, all swing in with their 2-inch reach into that Crypt Infernal Courtier.
And I'm guessing those markers on the pigs are the +1 damage. So those are going to be a lot. Because even the pigs
Seems
themselves...
like a good assumption.
Yeah. The 2 things charging got +1 damage.
So he's failed 4 of these saves.
Do the ghouls have a 4-up save?
No, this is into the Crypt Infernal Courtier, I think. And there it is. It is lifted. Much to no one's surprise.
Yep. Okay, I was wondering why I was rolling a save, because that's a Ren 2 coming in hot. And now Marcella will be able to smash and bash into whatever she likes for the next attack.
Yep.
I don't know if she popped the... I'm guessing she popped the Destroyer because there's also a marker on the Mega Boss on foot.
I have no. It could be an arcane shield. I don't. I can see if I can read it. No idea what that marker is.
Nope.
But if an entire unit gets lifted, we'll know it's a Destroyer Axe.
It's a bit of a challenge.
Pigs themselves picked up the ghouls.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. 2 attacks. I'm guessing she might have all out attack there, but even if not, it's 12 attacks, 3s and 3s, no rend, 2 damage a pop. So you get through 5 of them, and that scoops the unit.
So,
and,
here we go.
And 2 died on impact hits as well.
Mega Boss piling in here.
Yeah, this is where. So she must have popped it. So the big thing here is that if Marcella gets the double turn, this is going to be really bad, because now that Maw Crusher can fasten over and charge the Terrorgeist. The Mega Boss will be able to go where he wants as well. And those 2 6-packs of pigs are still there, like even with the Kronspine untouched.
I don't know, because these flayers, if they live here, could still be within 12 of the Mega Boss on Maw Crusher at the end of this turn, so we might not be able to even Mighty Destroyer. So we could fasten.
Oh, yeah, fasten.
So we have to fasten
you can
to get
fasten
outside of 12.
Out of 12, exactly, over to like the lower left, and then Mighty Destroyers up, also moving those pigs with you.
The unfortunate have to burn a fasten that early.
Well, yeah, but if it's literally tipping the game, then it's good.
But we'll see how Marcella deals with this Kronspine. I'm interested to see what her play against that is. I played against Josh's Kronspine once, with my Kronspine against Josh's pigs once.
That's right, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was when the Kronspine first came out, and I had no idea what to do about it.
I had no idea what to do with it. I think I killed 2 pigs, and 1 lone pig ended up doing 6 wounds, and my Kronspine de-leveled.
Oh. Yeah, I remember that, actually, because I had hard arbiters. I'm like, I'm just going to kind of hopefully tie you up and put you over here for a while. And then my rogue idol, may he rest in peace, went over and beat up some other stuff.
So it looks like the Mega Boss on foot has decided not to go for the flayers.
Oh, so I wonder if she popped the Destroyer. Maybe not then. I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound. If you're going to pop the Destroyer, you go into those flares. Oh, but those pigs can pile in through now. Oh no, there's some left.
They still have to fight.
There's some left.
The pigs still have to fight.
Yeah, I know, but there's actually. So I thought I thought Marcella had scooped the entire unit of ghouls. The fact that there's some ghouls left is actually huge for.
It's just a little Mega Boss on foot without his Destroyer Wedge activated. So I think Marcella's probably going to need to wipe out these ghouls and then use the Bloodtooth charge to get into those fires, because if Frederick goes top of 2, he'll just sneeze at that Mega Boss on foot and kill it, and the Destroyer Axe will be off the table.
Yep. Yeah, and he does not get to fight on death unless he is killed in combat. So there's no pile-in mechanics out of the combat phase.
And if she rolls a good charge, she might even be able to get the other 3 pigs on the right side and then the Kronspine to tie that one up too.
That would actually be a pretty big win.
I would trade 3 pigs to say, you know what, you don't get to play the Kronspine for a turn.
And the pigs buffed up like that have a chance, if she swings first with them, to do enough damage to possibly.
They'll still have the +1 damage.
Yep. And the Ren's high enough that there'll be Ren that he'll have a 6-up save on the Kronspine, so you could easily do enough damage to make it knock.
Here we go. comes a charge on the left. 8-inch charge.
Yep.
There. Oh, they might get the Kronspine in with this.
Yep.
Because she could end the first model in, and yep. She's got the Kronspine and the flares with 1 unit of pigs.
Yeah,
that is value
rough.
city right there.
Yeah. 180 points worth of pigs.
She did make a 10-inch charge of the pigs on the right. So she's
Those
debating
rolls
whether
hard.
she wants to send that into the Kronspine or not.
It's nice when you have a charge that's exactly what you need to one thing, but when you roll those long charges, like, what else could I do with this distance?
And she's sending this unit into the Kronspine too.
And the pigs will do their impact hits too, so a couple of mortal wounds popping off, which means Frederic will have to roll at the end of this turn for the Kronspine.
It can't be level with just, even if it's 3 mortal
Oh,
wounds.
right, because it's 3d6, yeah.
I think you need to do like
you need
4.
4 is the minimum. That's right.
4 shall be the number.
The number shall be 4. All right, priority. So that's 5 points for Marcella. Marcella looks like she's thinking, so I'm guessing she's making the decision on whether to go first or second in this round. And she has given the turn to Frederic.
Absolutely, exactly what she needed to do. She got the Death Boys exactly what she wants.
Everything's tied up, so he's got to fight out. And then Marcel's going to get to counterpunch with those 6 pigs and the 2 packs of 6 pigs and the Maw Crusher.
I think what Frederic really needed was to win the party and give it back to Marcella, because you never want to...
Eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye.
In a shocking turn of events, Frederic is taking eye for an eye.
We've now decided gaining momentum.
Gaining momentum.
Which...
to kill the pigs. Okay. Yep.
This is gonna be a rough one. I don't like this turnaround.
That's gonna be a challenge. I mean, he should kill those pigs.
He needs to control more objectives.
Yep.
And I don't know what he's got to get that objective on the right side, because it's contested by
a GC.
Warchana.
Yep.
So that guy needs to die.
Yep.
In order for this to happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because it's more objectives, and as of now, I don't know. Maybe he's got a trick up his sleeve.
There's some ways to do it here, but I don't like the board position. I'd rather just take a 4-point turn here and get stronger board position.
Yep. If those flares in the back were on the right-hand side instead of the left-hand side, I would feel better about this, because they could maybe make it to him on a really long charge.
Well, because he has a command ability in Blister Skin that he can pick a flying unit and just pick it up and put it anywhere on the table 9 inches from any models. So we can just pick up something and put it on that objective.
Oh, so he could do that for the right-hand side objective marker, because since Marcelo's on the back edge, the 9 inches, he could be on the objective end there. But he still can't take it because it's a GC.
Yeah, but he's got some shooting attacks with the screams that might be able to lift it. So there's some plays that's a little risky.
Do you know the range on the shooting attacks for the screams?
I'm pretty sure it's 10.
Okay, so as long as it's not 9. If it's
definitely not 9. It is a 10-inch range.
So perfect. Okay, so maybe that's the play then.
Marcel, now I'm reminding Frederick that he cannot take the objective while that Galatian champ is on there.
Yep.
So we might have another change in battle tactic here. Back to Eye for an Eye.
Although I think that might be a legit play, is to teleport those back flares up, scream at the War Chanter, because again the War Chanter's only got a 7 bravery, I think, if that.
7 bravery, yeah. Why would I ever doubt the legendary Josh Hankin?
Listen, when it comes to orcs, there's one thing I know, it's green-skinned models. Goblins and orcs.
If I paint my zombies green, would you know them?
I probably would. I have, from back when I used to play 6th and 7th edition, I have about 250 painted of the old derpy GW models. They're all on square bases, but definitely looking at... I have painted an entire Soulblight army if I wanted to just rebase them all. Fun fact, I do not want to rebase them all.
Archery running, trying to stay safe. Very cautious of the Iron Jaws bottom of 2, because there's that Mega Boss on Maw Crusher and 2 units of 6 pigs. So Marcel has already picked up 2 units of 10 ghouls and the Crypt Infernal Courtier with just the 2 units of 3 pigs so far and that little Mega Boss.
Again, I've been played in 2 GTs recently playing Bloodtooth, although I did play the Regiment Renowned Bolt Boys in those lists, but 3-man units of pigs can just do a lot of work, just an awful lot of work, especially when they're buffed up like that, and then you kind of don't care. There's still 15 wounds on a 4-up to remove. They're fast, they have a lot of durability, and they can scoop anything that doesn't have a super tanky save. Marcella giving Frederic the calculation of how much the Destroyer Axe can do, because he did kill models, therefore he has +1 wound. So he's 9 attacks at 5 damage apiece. Rend 1.
Just 45
just
damage
casual
guy, but you know, it's because we always roll maximum damage in this game.
Well, it's always nice when your opponent asks, like, how much does this person fight, right? And then basically the only way you can do it is say 3s and 3s, max damage of 45. Rend, whatever. I think flares are 4 wounds apiece.
Yep.
So if he did go in there with the Destroyer Axe, he could fairly likely, and I don't know if Marcella used Best Day Ever on him or...
So... Ghoul King on Terrorgeist also being very cautious and saying, you know what, let's just not do this today. He has screamed into the Megos on foot, done 3 mortal wounds. And now we have the 9 Flyer unit going like a bunch of Karens into these 3 pigs.
Sorry? I was trying to hear what they were saying. No, go ahead. What did you say?
So we got here's 9 Flayers screaming like Karens into 3 pigs. We're going to see 3 pigs picked up. It's basically each one of these Flayers is rolling 2d6, and for whatever exceeds their bravery, you take that many mortal wounds.
Yep.
Oh, a lot of notes here.
Wow, it looks like...
Wow, that is with City here.
Did you do 6 mortals?
So we do have a bunch of vendors here at this GT. Frederick might be stopping by one of those vendors and buying new dice after this game.
Yep. I would highly recommend that, or maybe it's in the mid 80s outside, so maybe find someone who has a car parked and just leave them in there with the 6 side up.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we had any Canadians come down so we can borrow their dice. But you know, and speaking speaking of vendors, if you are a vendor, please feel free to reach out to hello@wickeddicey. Get some information on how you
Yep.
can join this wonderful and amazing event
Exactly.
and Everwinter GT.
I think there's about 200
December.
people here for the various game systems this weekend for Ironweld, and Everwinter is kind of the even larger event.
Yes,
I forget
this
the
is like-
numbers we had last year, but it was very substantial, and the vendor hall was hopping because you had to walk through it to get to the bar.
So here's the flare attacks into these pigs. Tough spot for Frederick. I think what he probably should have done was just get this unit out of combat, because what's going to happen is...
Oh, he did summon the other courtier, by the way. I think that's what he just moved
Oh,
that.
yep. There's a Vargolf Courtier summoned behind the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist up at the top. So this is the unit flares into those 2 pigs. He's trying to clean them up, but that means those other 3 pigs that are still +1 damage will get the swing of the Kron Spine and probably just de-level it.
Yep.
And so those pigs have been lifted
Yeah,
by
and I forget that the flares
the noble
do-
Knights of Bretonia.
Yes. This is what they look like now. Otherwise, they need to go back to the old world.
So Marcella piling in her pigs to tag the fighters back into
Yep.
combat.
Yep.
It's almost like Marcella's played a few games of Warhammer
I
before.
know, and especially with this list, because I believe she's run this for a little while now.
I mean, if I started playing Iron Jaws, I don't know if I'd stop.
Yeah, that's true. It's really fun. You can dig your way out of holes. There's a lot of maneuverability, a lot of shenanigans you can pull.
On paper, sometimes you see Iron Jaws played and they just full send, but there's so many little tricks that you can do with these pile-ins, with the end of combat charges.
Yep.
Here come the Jagged Warhackers. These are Ren 2, and they're gonna be 2 damage because it's still buffed up from that War Channel.
Yep.
They're gonna
Stays until Marcella's next hero phase.
Clapping that Incarnate of Gar. Saying, we're tired of this season of Gar.
Yeah. Where did you go? Well, he's gone now.
And of course, the pigs themselves get the fight. No Rens, but they still get that +1 damage.
Yep. And the Crossband only has a 4-up. All right.
So
and
she's
the
already done
Crossband
the
has
18
been,
wounds.
Yep, has been de-leveled over 18 wounds.
So here comes the Kron Spine.
Because the D-level doesn't happen until the end of the end of or start of, I forget when. But
It's the whole it's like sometime in the battle shock phase.
Yep.
It's like the end of the turn sometime. So he still gets the fight as a level 2 Kron Spine.
which really is just 2 extra attacks. Yeah, and unshockingly, he scooped all of them because his attacks are...
All of them?
Yeah, it's got... Well, just its jaws alone are, what are they, 3s and 2s, rend 3, 4 damage apiece?
Look, I've attacked with Kron Spine before, and I've done maybe 2 damage.
Yeah, it can happen, but... And then it has its, I think it's called Claws, the other part. I forget what the other profiles, but it's 3s and 3s, rend 2 damage, so it's just...
Which is huge. He really needed to pick up those, because at this point, he had not killed anything yet.
Except it is going to be
I'm gonna get
Marcella's turn next.
I'm going to get an update on the points to see what exactly happened. And I'll be back in a sec, but I'll leave you with the wonderful Josh Angle.
There you go. Oh, so it seems that Frederick forgot the GC rule when he took gaining momentum, and they were already too far to change it on the point. So he'll get hold 1, hold hold one.
Yeah, that's the only objective he has
Yep.
because there's still the war channel on the right, and then the Mega Boss
And
on
Mega
foot
Boss, yep.
is still on the left.
Yep, and he didn't have another GC to challenge it, so
Yeah, very unfortunate. I hate to see it happen, but again, when you're playing an event or even just playing a game, always important to read all of the rules of the mission because while a lot of aspects remain the same with hold one, hold two, hold more, each mission does have its own special rule to it.
yeah, and this one's one of the more unique ones in that it changes your normal capture rules. Like sometimes there's remove objectives or there's objectives become activated as you go on, but for this particular mission, the GCs shine.
I think he also would have deployed completely different had he realized that
Yeah.
at the start too. Bit unfortunate because he did have to overextend some units like that Crypt Infernal Courtier, which a bit rough to see. I think he
Scooped up
probably
that
should have
early,
just
yeah.
done with it, settled with just a Desecrate and just hold one objective turn one out there. So because you can still get hold one, hold two, hold more by just getting one of those two center objectives turn one.
Yeah, and that's going to be a challenge because Marcella's in a spot that even on her turn, without doing almost anything, she could probably get 5 points. So
She can literally just sit here,
Yep,
and she's already getting hold one, hold two, hold more.
Yep. And there's a couple of battle tactics that are pretty easy for her to get at this point with the GCs up forward. Not to mention eye for an eye. If she is going to go aggressive, then she's got.
I think this turn she's doing eye for an eye. Lead the assault.
Lead the assault. Which is eye for an eye with more language. It's eye for an eye with hold more objectives. If memory serves.
Nope, this is the one that Frederick went for turn one, which is hold two of the objectives in enemy territory, which the center ones are partially within enemy territory.
Oh, with
Galician
yep,
champions.
yep.
So she already done it. She could literally just end her turn, do absolutely nothing, and score 5 points.
Well, it also means that the question is whether or not she commits the Mega Boss then. Or if there's somebody else who can get on that objective, because if
she could.
commits...
There's a war chana on that center objective, see on the right, like near that Malkasha?
Yep.
She could run one of them up. Oh, here we go.
Yep.
So she fastened the Malkasha so she could Mighty Destroyer it, and it completely ignore the Unleash.
Yep. This is what we talked about at the beginning of the stream, is that there's a lot of shenanigans to get around that Unleash Shell, because actually the Unleash Shell is very scary for the Maw Crush as well.
And he also does impact hits with his Hulking Brute command trait, so they're rolling for the Mortal Wound impacts here. This one might...
How did a full flare... Oh, they must have taken damage from something else before. Oh, the pigs, I think, had some floating wounds on them. That makes sense.
This could be a quick game, I think.
Well, I mean, with these two armies, it's going to be, right? Either the two players play super cagey and trade little infantry units, like the ghouls or the three-mans, but they run out very fast, and everything is very fast on both sides. So you can crash in wherever you like. I mean, this is a game that actually turn priority is huge.
Massive, yeah. And Marcel's been able to win them and give them away.
Win the one.
Mm-hmm.
Win the one. There's been one turn priority.
Well, she also got the deployment.
Well,
drop
true.
On.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's right. There's not a lot left on the table for a turn two.
No, and it's really negating a lot of the power of the Flesh Eater Court list, which is to be able to bring back player models, which only happens on the start of his hero phase. So far, there has been an opportunity to. Still An unusual amount of thinking here by our Iron Jaws player. This should be a pretty straightforward Unga the Munga, but
Free stuff, all right. Yeah, everything's going well. Taking a visit from our technical director here, Cam.
so she's currently moving that unit of 6 pigs to make sure that they are all in range to get the +1 damage next turn from the War Chanter that's all the way on the right-hand side.
Yep. Yeah, and that's one of the challenges with Iron Jaws, because sometimes you do overextend, and getting those War Chanters, which only move 4, to keep up with the rest of the army can be tricky.
Oh, here comes. The screams on the Maw Crusher going, "Arr, arr, arr," like a cool puppy dog.
Well, big stomping is what's happening now, I think.
Oh, here comes the Wah!
Yep.
Not a proper Wah from Marcella. Maybe she give us a...
Oh, sure. You yell the battle tactics really loud, but... So, Wah provides not only... So you do it at the start of the charge phase for the Iron Jaws player, and it is +1 charge for your whole army, as well as +1 to rend army-wide, which is going to be actually probably be the bigger factor here, because Marcella's going to end up with Rend 2 and Rend 4, Rend 2 and Rend 3 on the Maw Crusher for its profiles, which means those flares are not going to get a save. Also means the pigs, the top of the pigs is going to go to Rend 3, and the Mega Boss on foot is going to get Rend 2 for their axe attacks, although I doubt she's going to pop Destroyer now. And a fun fact is the Wog actually lasts through the rest of the turn, so if Marcella clears that unit of flayers and then gets a Bloodtooth charge with the pigs, they'll get +1 to that charge roll. Although actually moving them in that area is going to be very challenging because of the terrain. So the throne is kind of smack in the middle of those two pieces, the upper left and the center. So I don't even know if the Maw Crusher can fit over there, and those pigs are going to have coherency issues unless she loses a pig in the combat.
Now, depending on how much... Here's the impact hits from the pigs. Curious to see how many flayers live at the end of the first activation here, because what Federico wants to do then is put flyer attacks into those pigs and force a battle shock test, because they are within 12 of the throne, so they cannot ignore battle shock. He's already lost 1 pig here.
Oh, is there a second unit back there? Or, oh, it must have been a shout, a scream from the Terrorgeist. I was trying to figure out how that pig got picked up with Unleash Hell.
There's an Unleash on the Gul'Kian on Terrorgeist.
Oh, okay, yep, so that's it.
That was unavoidable, so she charged the Mega Boss on foot to be next to the Maw Crusher to avoid that, because he's already taken some wounds, and he would just die. And he rolled pretty well, and just scooped up a pig.
Yep. Yeah, that same exact stat would have probably scooped the guy.
These pigs already have to take battle shock.
Yep.
And they've already lost 1.
Well, they've lost 1, which is all you need to then have the coherency be less of an issue. It's actually, if you could buy pigs in 5 packs instead of 6, it's kind of like the whole thing with hot dogs come in packs of 10, but the coherency needs buns in packs of 8, so you always have this weird number.
Here comes the Destroyer Axe. It's been popped. We've got 9 attacks here. It's gonna have Rend 2 because of the Wah. 5 damage each.
Yep, and
that's more than 4 damage.
It's killed 2 models so far. So yeah, 9 attacks. And I believe Marcella just used a command point to all-out attack.
Yep, because she'll be able to, if she issues it from the one on the Maw Crusher, it can issue it up to 3 times that turn. So all 3 of these units can get +1 attack.
And even if the Mega Boss is by himself with 1 other unit of pigs, they can do 2. So Mega Boss can do 2, while the Maw Crusher can do 3 units with any command ability. very important saves for Frederick. So 30 damage off of the Destroyer Axe into that unit. There's a flame. Destroyer Axe did Destroyer Axe things.
I think we're probably just going to see all these fighters lifted right here, unfortunately.
Did it scoop the whole unit? I suspect so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll pull the whole unit. Yep, smash and bash him into what? What else is fighting?
Well, so there's that arch region up by the pigs on the left. And he... So they're...
Yeah, we just got a sort of a shrug from Frederic on how that went as he re-racks his flayers into his case.
Marcelo being smart not to pull the Terrorgeist within 3 because you don't want to take swings from that.
Yep.
But there's 2-inch reach on these pigs that are +1 damage. So you'll probably be able to...
And Ren 2, so even in the terrain, you're negating... Ren 3, actually, because of the Wog.
Now, the little Ghoul King or the Arch Regent does have that fueled by Garish Rage, so on a 3-up, he'll just live.
Oh, that guy, yeah. Oh, that's right. Earlier on, we kind of mistaked which one was which, so that's why I was confused.
So, if Marcella kills him, great for her. If not, still fine, because she'll be able to pile in these pigs at the end of the combat phase and get within 3 of the Arch Regent.
Yeah, and also actually even tie up the Terrorgeist.
Yeah, that's what I meant to get the Terrorgeist.
Yep.
I think ideally she wants the charge to be able to pull the Kronspine in too. But
Yep, and possibly do a few mortals on the impact hits. Oh, and he did die, and he comes back. And he got a D3 wounds back.
So there's the once per battle, fueled by Garish Rage, keeping him alive.
Oh, this is him swinging into the pigs after he came back.
Oh, we got 1 damage of pop swings coming in here.
Chipping away at those pigs a little bit.
You know what's surprisingly really good on the Arch Regent on foot? Flaming Weapon. He's got like 7 attacks.
He has a lot of attacks.
At like 3s and 3s, run 1.
Yep.
And you could still make him fight twice with Feeding Frenzy. So you get up to like 14 attacks.
Does he have a cast built in?
He's got 2 spells.
He's got 2 spells? Oh, yeah, actually, that's great.
Yeah. I think Frederic took the range transformation to get an extra 4 inches of move on the flyers, but I mean, you already have 14-inch move. Do you really need an extra 4 on top of that at that point?
Unlikely.
Unlikely.
That's a movement that is fixing a mistake from a previous issue, as opposed to needed in the game. It's funny when you explain to people like, how far can your Maw Crusher move? Well, technically speaking.
And it looks like we're going to priority. So our players now taking a look. I believe Frederic won priority, so got to take a look at this board state.
Well, it's sort of a tough choice. He almost has to take it, I think. He can get the Kronspine into things. Yeah, into that guy. Or he could also send it over and maybe even hit that Maw Crusher. Otherwise, he's got no answer for the Maw Crusher because the Terrorgeist is going to be tied up on those pigs. Well, actually, he's out of 3, isn't he?
Yep, the Ghoul King Terrorgeist.
Yeah, so he's actually
the only answer to either pigs or the Maw Crusher right now.
Yep.
So Marcel's going to be looking to give him plus D3 attacks and hopefully fight twice. The Maw Crusher is near the pigs, so he could potentially charge into the pigs and pile on the Maw Crusher to avoid the roar, so we could still fight twice with Feeding Frenzy.
Oh, right.
Um, Eye for
Eye
an
for an
eye,
eye.
coming up with a battle tactic, one that might actually be achievable this
Yes.
turn.
Yeah, this is interesting, actually, because there's the, do you go for, because he could also, I think it's a small unit of flayers that's kind of
Yep, there's
center,
3
and
flayers.
they could probably go over and take out that War Chanta between the
Yes.
screams and charges.
Yep.
He's going to get countered by those pigs, but
Gonna
it
get
at least gives him
whatever goes.
something.
Um,
Having points now is better than not having points.
you know, you probably want to send the flayers over to that War Chanta, because if you're able to kill them, you get that objective.
Yep.
And then you could put the Kronspine and the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist into pretty much the same unit, like maybe just
Yep.
charge them both into the pigs. And then fight with the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist first and see, can you scoop those pigs?
Yep.
The Kronspine's only level 1, so it's very risky right now.
Yeah, it does still have, I mean, was it 6 attacks plus its level for its claws, and then 1 plus its level for bites? It's actually not bad to put it into the Maw Crusher, because if it does scoop the Maw Crusher, it levels up.
I don't see it scooping the Maw Crusher. The Maw Crusher is still at full health.
Yeah, that's true. And it's killed stuff. Killed the model because it stopped. Actually, you get it for stomp?
I don't know if
I don't think
get
you
it.
do. I think you only get it for combat.
I think it's only combat phase if you killed any models.
There's a lot of objectives around it, and I'm not sure what they mean. Or markers around it. I'm not sure exactly what they mean.
There's probably the Mystic Shield, the +1 damage. And then just, I don't know, tokens for
Maybe
the sake of
she
it.
might have best aid ever. Because that would have been a go. Because then that counters the
That'd been
Kronspine, who's going to have Ren 3 on stuff.
But it does not counter. The Ghoul King of Terrorgeist is just gonna go, here's a couple 6s,
Yep.
pick it up.
Yep. That is true. That is true.
Marcel debating the redeploy. Here comes the redeploy. Oh, that means Frederick is taking the objective.
5-inch redeploy from Marcella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's happy with 5 inches. I mean, I might have even left him on just towing that objective
Yeah, but
to say,
now-
if you don't kill me, you don't score.
But now he's out of the scream range.
He is.
And also,
But they're -2 on the
can't
screams.
charge.
And Frederick has proven that even
He
without
can't-
the -2, he can't roll
Yeah.
for a scream. Update from our 40k table, still looks like nobody's having fun because it's 40k.
And all of a sudden, this room got much quieter because it seems like the other game system's all wrapped up. Except for 40k.
Yeah, I think it was a what, Marble Crisis Protocols in this room. They probably decided, you know what, let's go find a real game. Maybe, you know, check out the Sigmar room. They might even, you know, be watching our stream, you know, see what a real game looks like.
They're not, because I think there's only one viewer, so.
I can't see how many viewers are right now, so I'm just going to assume there's about 111.
That sounds good.
But if you're joining us from the replay, hello.
That's true. That's true. This could be watched. This is one of those things that could be kept, it will be kept forever in the internet. Now, I don't remember who the Kronspine was bound to, but...
That was the Archregent on foot.
So, who's dead?
No,
No,
he's
who's alive?
stuck
Okay,
in combat
so
with the pigs.
so this is not a run in charge. Okay, so that is not impassable terrain either, so they're flying up there. So they're basically pre-measuring all the bases to see, because not only does everything in Frederick's army that's really moving right now fly, but also the terrain makes it a little challenging, so they're all pre-measuring everything and figuring it out, which is honestly the best way to play Sigmar, is to go through and just say, hey, look, here's what I'm trying to do. Let's look at it, because the actual models, once you start moving them around, you nudge stuff, you nudge terrain, things can change. It is so much better to just have a co-op movement phase rather than a adversarial process.
Always beneficial to declare your intents with your moves. I'm moving this guy here to just be outside of 3 here. I'm piling in here. If you're
Yep.
getting close to another unit, what's your intent? You measure it out.
Yeah.
Look, I don't
wanna
want to be within 3 of that unit,
Yep.
or I do want to be within the 3 of that unit. Come at me. This is why Sigmar players have more fun. We're a little bit more intentional with our words. There's a scream into that pig. It says, you know what, I'm going home.
Yep.
This little piggy went home.
Yelling at a hot dog.
There's a charge. So, here we go.
Okay.
Charging the pigs as they outside of 3 of the Maw Crusher
Yep.
to avoid the roar.
Yep.
Might profit.
You might be. You might be. A Warog prophet. Stare at the table and make it die.
Looks like the Kronspine's gonna roll hot charge here.
Ooh, I think if this is the Kronspine, I think Frederick might have forgotten the rule that it automatically rerolls all charges.
No, he did. He's just rerolled there.
He used a command point for it.
Oh.
Yeah. And that puts us in a dilemma, because it's a rule. So the Kronspine has an aura around it that allows you not to run away, anybody, and reroll charges. It's not friendly, it's just anybody, including itself. But not something we would correct them on the tabletop, because players forgetting their rules. Although maybe he did remember it.
Here comes the roar on the Kronspine. And here we go.
Yep.
Ghoul King on Terrorgeist going.
Yep. Now, I wonder if Frederick Titanic dueled, or what I'm not sure what monstrous actions he took, but. So any of these that are not mortals.
So
12 mortal
12
wounds.
mortal wounds already.
4 damage. Now, Marcella has a ton of defense here, so if there are ones, because I believe these do. So 3-up saves for Marcella. $18 total wounds on the Maw Crusher. If it didn't kill something, that actually kills the Maw Crusher. That scooped exactly the Maw Crusher.
The first activation of it?
Yep.
Has scooped the Maw Crusher.
Well, getting 2 6s on those attacks to get mortal wounds through was huge, because Marcella had a ton of defense. Even at Ren 2, she was still rolling a 3-up.
And here comes the feeding frenzy. You thought Frederick was out. Frederick just looked at his opponent and said, I ain't hear no bell.
Yeah, the Terrorgeists are pretty squishy, but they can do a lot of damage.
They're pretty tanky. Their only weakness is just the lack of ward save.
Don't they only have a 5-up save? 4-up save.
The Maw Crusher?
No. The Maw Crusher is very tanky. Sorry, I meant the Terrorgeist.
Oh, the Terrorgeist, it's only a 4-up.
It's a 4-up with
pretty dreadful.
With a 6-up save.
But it does pretty good damage.
What's your bracelet? Oh, okay.
Yeah, just roll 6s. The secret to getting better at Age of Sigmar
Was roll well.
just roll 6s.
That's why I played Nurgle played Nurgle forever, because I could just roll 5s. Right? Like, I don't even need to roll 6s. Let's go ahead and roll
That's
5s.
all I did last
Like,
year.
Here's 5s. I'm
roll
gonna
5 ups.
play 80 Plague Bearers. 5s. Yep.
Just did it the other weekend. I just roll 5-up boards all the time.
This is actually interesting, because this is going to be a big turn for Frederic, and Marcella only has
It's
that
huge.
6-peg. Wait,
That's a 5-point turn for Frederick.
Is the Mega Boss on foot still alive?
Yes,
Okay.
but the Kronspine's in with it.
Kronspine's into him, so that's.
But Mega Boss on foot could potentially kill the Kronspine.
He absolutely could.
Because Kronspine's stuck on level 1. It can't level up at all because
Yep.
there's no monsters left on the table.
The only issue is I don't know how many command points Marcella has left, but if the Mega Boss whiffs, that's rough. 3s and 3s can be challenging. And you need
So-
to do reliably somewhere around 10 wounds to it in order to make it probably
Marcella,
pop.
Marcella's staying within 3 of the Terrorgeist there. So that way, if... I'm not sure because Marcella's going next turn anyway. So there's no reason to absolutely need to stay within. But I think it's more to prevent any redeploys and unleash hells from that Terrorgeist.
Yep. Yep.
So-
It all hit. 3s to wound. So 6 5-ups on the Kronspine.
And these are just 2 damage each now. Destroyer Backs has already popped.
So 8 damage. So the way the Kronspine mechanic works is at the end, sometime in the battle shock phase, really doesn't matter when, we're not sure, you roll 3d6 and you need to get equal to or over the amount of damage it has taken. So if it takes 8 damage, you roll 3d6 and you have to get an 8 plus for it not to de-level. And it only has 1 level left, so if it de-levels again, it will die. If it does not de-level, then it can still do okay. But it doesn't have any like degrading profile or anything else other than the levels.
And the Mega Boss has died. The turns have tabled here.
Yeah, this is there's still 6 pigs and a handful and 3 GCs for Marcella.
Yeah, Marcella's going next, so she automatically will get hold 1 and hold 2,
And
hold 3.
Frederique's only going to get hold 2 because that
Oh yeah, there's a little War Chanta there.
War Chanta is towed in
So
on
it'll be a
that one.
4-point turn. So Marcella's automatically going to be at the end of 3. At minimum, she doesn't have to move. Well, she has to move a little bit, 1 model, but she'll be at 13 to 10 at the worst. Frederick realizing the errors of his ways.
So that is it for Frederique's turn. Now Marcella's bottom of 3.
Oh, I never updated the little arrow.
Oh, yep. For those watching in the future, that was Frederique's turn, not Marcella.
I apologize. So what Marcella has left is 2 War Chantas, a Shaman, and a unit of 6 pigs. Frederique still has a level 1 Kronspine, a Ghoul King of Terrorgeist, an Archregent, a Vargul for the top of the screen that was summoned in, and 3 Flayers on the right. Marcella is now taking the bottom of 3, so she will score, and she will be ahead after this round. But it's been a bloodbath. Not a whole lot left on the table here. And Frederick is oiling up now, getting ready to deliver the blow in the next 2 rounds.
So it's an interesting which way. So Marcella really has 1 output threat, right? And it's those 6 pigs. And the question is, she could send it over and charge both the Terrorgeist
Is that the only threat? I've seen a War Chanta on his own clap a Kairos Fate Weaver.
Okay, it could happen. But I think that I wouldn't be surprised if Marcella goes to that left-hand side and charges the pigs into both the Terrorgeist and the Kronspine. You may lose the pigs, but you could almost absolutely de-level the Kronspine, which removes it from the game, and you could probably pick up that the Terrorgeist as well if you get some decent rolls. The other play is to have them run around and scoop up the other stuff, but then
So you Mighty Destroyer here to move the War Chanta to get +1 damage to those pigs.
Yep.
But she only gets to move 1 unit.
Yeah, you lose the
Mega Boss is
efficiency
gone.
as soon as the big. So either any of the Mega Bosses, either on a Maw Crusher or on foot. As soon as you lose them, you're back to regular people mode. 1 command, 1 thing.
So we only have a single 9-inch move on these pigs, so it's gonna be a tough choice of where she wants to commit them to.
And Marcella is going down that right side, so my guess is she's going to try to scoop those flares.
I think that's a mistake.
The problem is that there's still 2 turns of scoring, so Frederic could, if he gets the turn. So if Marcella gets
Here comes the redeploy.
if Marcella gets the turn, then I think it's actually a good play. But if she doesn't get the turn, then all of a sudden that Kronspline can go in wherever it wants and literally just scoop 2 GCs a turn.
Yeah, I think
then even the downside of
a unit of 3 fighters just doesn't present enough of a threat to those pigs.
Yeah.
But she needs to find a way to deal with the Terrorgeist and the Kronspine. Here's the 3d6 charge here on the pigs. He rolled a 7 on 3d6. Not very average.
I mean, the other thing is that she will get a charge after this, but I don't know that that's going to really... There's nothing over there.
In.
Yeah.
And these will pick up 3 fighters, no problem.
Yeah,
But
buffed up pigs will. Yeah, it's unleashing hell right now, so we'll see how that goes.
So
4 mortals. 4 mortals
doesn't
only.
even kill a pig.
Nope. So the output's the same, but those flares are scooped no matter what. 2 damage pigs.
Yeah,
with the Ren 2 tops are going to just kill them. And outside of possibly saving a point for Bravery. Bravery, this is bottom of the term, so Marcella's going to all out attack them. There'll be 2s and 3s, Ren 2, which means no save, 2 damage apiece.
There it is, the whole attack.
Yep. It's one of the fun things with commentating. Like when you're in the game, sometimes you lose track of like what I should do and what I do. And it's always nice when you think through something. You're like, you know what? This would be the right play here, and here's why. And the player at the table actually does it.
So Marcella's grand strat is Wow, which I believe she needs to have this pigs alive at the end
Correct.
of the game.
It's pigs or... yeah, I think it's just pigs.
And Frederic only has take what's theirs, which is a very achievable grand strat for him. So wait, that could come down, you know, be a huge factor in here.
There's 2 turns left. That's the issue. I think
Yeah,
if this
Marcella
was
will be up
last
15 to 10 now at the end of this.
Yep.
And she wins priority. She can seal another 5 points in there. She did put one of the Galician champs all the way on the bottom objective, as far away as she could from the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist and the Kronspine to hopefully keep them alive. Say, this is my objective.
They're still real fast, and you know what might come into play? No, that guy's dead. The +4.
There is the run and charge spell on the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist.
Oh, the guy is still alive who gives the +4 move, so... Big priority. They've all been fairly
priority
big.
Coming up here. Massive. One could say very big.
Huge.
I have the biggest priority rolls. Here we go. Marcella wins priority with a 2 over a 1.
All right. That's it.
What are we watching?
I don't know.
This could be you here.
The drama.
The Ironweld GT.
You would
check out the website wickeddicey.com. get information on how to come here at Everwinter,
Yep.
be on stream, roll ones, or roll twos,
Yeah.
and be good at the game.
You couldn't even write a script better, right? Dramatic. Turn
This is
three
the
into
Cinderella story.
Turn 3 into 4.
Oh,
So the question here is, what does Marcella do with the pigs? Because she's got, again, one threat. I think they're in range. They should be. It's close. As to whether or not they're in range for the War Chanta, who's on the southern, the bottom
I
side.
think they're definitely within the War Chanta.
It's wholly within 15. So yeah, okay, that would be 9. That would be 12 inches across the circle.
Still thinking, figuring out what she wants to do with her battle tactic, because the home objectives, the one on the top, in the middle, on the top and bottom, they're the only ones that are eligible for the Galician Champion cutting maneuver.
Right. But there's no way for Marcella to get a GC up there.
Marcella already asking the question if there's any battle line left. So as long as she keeps those pigs alive, 3 points for her.
Yep.
Frederick needs to have more of his units wholly within Marcella's territory at the end of the game. He only has 4 models left on the table.
Right, but between the Scream and the unless Marcella picks up one of those 2 threat pieces, but he's got 4 units, yeah. So I don't know. It'll be tight. The thing is Marcella's done a good job of spreading out really far on a lot of her GCs, so that if Frederick wants it, he's gonna have to commit a Terrorgeist to killing a War Chanta.
I feel like Frederick might rewatch this game later and see some things
missing movement on that Vargolf on top, which he forgot. He had summoned it in before, and he forgot to move it in the subsequent turn. That's huge, because that could have been contesting that left objective, and that way, if he kills the GC, it's now there.
Yeah, I think his deployment did him in early. He's been able to claw out of that, but the points lost from the first second turns are just.
It is honestly a closer game than I thought it was going to be when you saw where the game state was in turn 2.
It looked like it looked like almost lights out for him, but he said no.
No, he said, "I'm
Not
hungry.
today.
I'm hungry. I'm going to have my Terrorgeist pick up
beast. A Maw Crusher and
pick up 800 points of your army in one go."
That's just what they do.
That's true. Another model I have on a square base at home that I'm like,
I ran 2 Ghoul Kings on Terrorgeist for a period of time, and I had a Slanesh player teleport Keeper's Secrets, pick up my 1 Terrorgeist top of 1. Thought he was in a good position, and I tabled him with just 1 Ghoul King on Terrorgeist.
Yep. Seems like I can do that. I was playing in a game where I was playing Kragnos. Actually, is it the same event? It was the same event where I played you when you were when you had the crossbind. But he had moved 3 Terrorgeists to the middle of the table because he was playing 3 Terrorgeists, and I had Kragnos. I was able to charge. I did 30 mortals on the charge, and then picked up the other 2 with his dividing his attacks because he just has so much output.
Nick Marcella has decided on a battle tactic. Matter of honor. I think that's a hold.
It's a challenging term for battle tactics because there's no battle line on the table. There's unlikely for a GC to kill a GC. Desecrate has already been taken. Eye for an Eye has already been taken.
Matter of honor, pick 1 Galician Champion or Sorin Bodyguard unit on the field. Complete this battle tactic. If that unit is destroyed during this turn by attack made by a friendly Galician Champion or Sorin Bodyguard unit.
Which basically is impossible. I don't know what she might kill with one of the GCs she has.
This might just be a throwaway battle tactic.
This may be there's no actual good option. So 1 she could have actually taken. Oh no, you can only take a turn 1 and 2. Never mind.
because unfortunately she did use Desecrate early on, so she didn't have that in her back pocket.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was the turn 1 battle tactic she elected. Oh, and the laser pointers are out on the 40K table.
No fun allowed.
Don't miss those days. True line of sight is the bane.
Well, actually. Oh, we're called the Pokes. So it looks like Marcel is making a play to try to go scoop up potentially the region, maybe the...
Could get both.
I don't know. The problem is if she kills the region, the Conspine's wild.
Oh, that's true, and then it's run and charge.
Bad
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, because it's move 10 right now, so it's kind of locked in that center because of the terrain a little bit, but, yep. But on the other hand, she kind of has to kill. If she kills it, she gets the objective. Which then would be 1. Well, then she'd hold 4, which I guess
she's already got hold on
shows,
2 or more. Because she's got both the centers and her own home one in the bottom. Still protecting that war channel, keeping them safe, saying, I'm scoring this one.
Yep. Putting them all as far away as possible. But also so that the pigs, because remember the pigs, if they do charge and kill, they're going to get a move or a charge. So they could move forward 9, attack, and then just run away.
Is there a play that you just, instead of moving these pigs up, that you just keep them safe and run them away? And say, I'm just scoring 5 points this turn?
It's going to be really hard to do that, simply because...
Keep them safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Frederick can still keep up with them because he can teleport at Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, but that means he's not picking up these Galatian champs that are just in your face going,
well, the Kronspine's really good at doing those with basically no issue coming back, right? Like Kronspine can go into that one, kill one turn. But actually...
Because Marcel's got the point lead, right?
Yep.
So she's ahead by 5.
She's
going to score 5 this turn, be at 20. What can Frederick realistically do?
She's not going to score 5 because she can't do the battle tactic. She's going to get 3. Yeah.
So
and if those pigs die, then she loses her Grand Strat as well. So that's
She mighty destroyed them once. Now she's going to move them up. Looks like her goal is to just kill the last Galatian champs and say you've got 2 units left on the table.
Yep, and I mean she's guaranteed to have at least 2 more points throughout the rest. So Frederick would need 2 5-point turns, and I mean it does.
If she loses these pigs, she loses her Grand Strat.
Yeah, so that's a 6. That's a big swing.
I think the Grand Strat is going to come into play in the end of this.
It's very likely. So she's going to try to scoop both of them this turn, which decent chance of doing so. With that charge.
Yeah, I think both of these champs just scoop this turn.
Actually, the pigs. I don't know. I don't know if you just walk the pigs away or charge, but yeah, both of these should be scooped.
I think the pigs just have to walk away at the end of this. You can't.
Yeah, you can't. You don't want that.
Yeah.
I mean, make the Kronspine roll a charge.
And it's also going to force if she just makes them. She takes their full 9-inch move and goes directly, basically north on your screen. It's going to force the Kronspine to have to go, or the Archregent.
Yeah, and the Kronspine's dicey whether or not, because it's not a champ, so it can't. It's not a champ or a elite, so it can't actually issue commands.
It's going to force something to have to go all the way to the top, which means Frederick's grand strat is to take what's theirs, which is have more in Marcella's territory.
Yep.
So if she can pull things away, he's only have 2 models left, 2 units.
And
She's already got all these
there's no
collision camps everywhere.
summoning available to Frederic anymore.
Yeah, he's already
Yeah,
used it.
he's used it. It's out. Yeah, so I mean, really, one of his chances might be to move the Terrorgeist. Well, but if he leaves the objective, he can't grab it either. But he could yell at one of them and possibly kill one, and then charge the other and kill 2 GCs in a turn. But then he's only claiming one of the 2 objectives.
I think he can get 2 objectives here because he can put the
should-
Conspine
yeah.
into the one that the Terrorgeist is already on,
Yep.
and he's gonna need to send the Terrorgeist into the pigs
Yep.
and just scoop those pigs.
Yeah.
Because that's 3 points he picks up. He kills the pigs.
Yeah, and
then he'll have them available to then, because then it'll just be 2 models left on Marcella's side to 2 models of his.
Exactly. I don't know if he realizes her grand strat. Right, he's got a whole nother turn to get his, but if Frederic goes over and
He's still got 2 turns.
yeah, he's got 2 turns. So if he actually scoops those pigs now, then his Terrorgeist can come back, eat the right hand one, and the left hand one he could take. So he could get 5 in the last turn, possibly. He can get probably, my guess is max out at 4 this round if he gets a good battle tactic. So that would be 9 to Marcella's going to get 3, so it would be 19-18, and it's going to come down to grand strat. Marcella, 3 points. Actually, one of the questions is, I don't know if Frederic realizes what her grand strat is, because that's a huge swing right now. Like, if he just ignores those pigs and picks up everything else, you just run those pigs away for another turn, and that turns the game the other way.
We're gonna find out. The Regent's dead, so he's no longer getting plus D3 attacks for the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, which is important. So
Yep.
at most, just 6 attacks with that maul.
I mean, all it takes is 1/6 to scoop any one of those 3 models left. A couple of 6s on outside of the pigs, of course.
They are within 12 of the Charnel Throne, so that it is forcing Battle Shock test.
Oh, it's no Inspiring Presence there?
It's no anything. You can't receive any way to. This one's
mine.
Gee, can a Ghoul King on Terrorgeist actually kill something?
So he's not going for the pigs, unless he's sending the Kronspine to the pigs, which maybe he is. It is a little risky, because if he sends in the Terrorgeist and the Terrorgeist doesn't scoop the pigs, 3 pigs could actually pick up a
Scoop
Terrorgeist.
the Terrorgeist, yeah.
Because they're still buffed up.
I think he needs to.
Wait,
and
you
he
said
needs to
no-
potentially wait till next turn to maybe make a play on the pigs.
Yeah.
For that
Although,
buff to.
realistically, he could go and just eat all 3 of those heroes this turn. He's got to get 5 this turn, basically. Or no, he needs to get 4.
He's gonna cap out at 4 this turn.
He needs to get 4 this turn to have a chance, because then he might be able to get 5 the last turn.
He's measuring to see how far that Ghoul King on Terrorgeist can fly over there, because he wants to scoop up that.
Yeah, and it would be a fly shout. I mean, I guess, yeah, that's not bad.
They're both just playing with a box of scraps right now. It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Man, it comes down to dice rolls, so you could say it's wicked dicey at this stage.
Our Beast of Chaos player from our prior round has won his round 2 game already. And is one of only like 30 submitted scores already, so.
Interesting, because I believe this round ends in an hour. Because we started at 1:30, so that would be 3-hour rounds to put us at 4:30, I believe.
The math seems to check out. The Tom Ling versus Sergio T zombie off probably will be over in another 6 hours, maybe 7. So, Karna has charged in, stomped for 2 mortal wounds. The Shaman on the bottom objective did redeploy away. So, huge, that that Ghoul King on Terrorgeist did not get in combat. Marcella preserves that Glacial Champ for another turn, which means if she wins priority,
Yep.
she just runs it back on the objective and scores it.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
If Warchana dies to a Crown Spine, what a surprise, what a twist.
2. So 2 for Frederic.
2 points for Frederick, and here comes priority for turn 5.
Did he kill? Yeah, so now he controls 2.
Yep, he's got the,
so he had
the
one,
left and
one
the bottom.
2, but he didn't get his battle tactic then? Oh no, she redeployed. There's an alive model down there in the bottom corner, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, because he had to kill something with his
Yep.
general,
Yep.
which I think the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist should have gone into the one that was on the objective.
Yeah,
already.
you would have burdened.
The
Yeah.
Crown Spine's wild. You could have just run
Yeah.
all the way down there.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah, because he could have flown, even moving 10, could have used a command point to make it auto run 16 inches, and then have. You can still redeploy, but at least you're going to get the guaranteed attack.
Looks like Marcella won priority. So here comes the cunning maneuver. So she probably pre-measured this, but she's looking to get that Warchana onto Frederick's home objective there.
Yep.
The cunning maneuver. It should be a 5-point turn.
Yep.
And then if she just runs,
Well,
those
it'll be
pigs away,
it'll be 4, right? She will have 1, 2, but not more.
No, because the shaman at the bottom of her screen just walks onto
Oh,
the objective.
right. Sorry, I missed that guy's still alive. Yeah, that guy being alive actually is huge.
And she's running the pigs,
Yep.
and it looks like they're just gonna run
Yeah,
away.
this is exactly this is why Frederick needed that turn, and yep. So then
So
they're
she's
safe.
gonna score 5.
Yep.
It's,
And she'll get her
grand
and
strat.
she'll get her grand strat. Frederic will get, even if he gets 5 on this turn. Yep. So yeah.
Yep. So 5.
Yep.
So Frederick still has Desecrate round, so he'll be able to get hold 1, hold 2, hold more, and Desecrate. So another 5 points for him on his turn. And then both will end up just getting their grand strat because that little shaman was just going to bite the dust. He'll
Yep.
have more in her territory.
26-20 final score.
26
They're
to
hugging.
20
They're
will
hugging.
be the-
Hugging it
they've
out.
Hugged it out.
As
Tough
we
crowd showing how soft crowd they are.
That's great. That was a much closer game than it looked earlier on, and very well played by both players. A lot of back and forth, a lot of unexpected moving around. Yeah, great. But just really fun here.
You
So
can see a lot of the tech with these two armies here.
yes, yeah. I mean, we expected there to be a big smash at some point, and it turned out at the end of that smash that there was a Kronspine and a Terrorgeist left. And 6 pigs who were not in the smash. The 6 pigs kind of just wandered around, and now it's important with that WOG the WOG Grand Strat to make sure you have a unit of pigs that's still alive at the end, and it's easy to overcommit them and then have them be wiped out versus having them actually run around like they were able to do here. Yeah, and the actual scenario here played a huge portion into how it played out. Like the GCs, and the fact that Marcella was able to keep her GCs available and hidden in the back and then kind of wandered up.
Marcella played that amazing with the
Yep.
GCs.
Yep.
She took advantage of the mission. I think Frederick didn't fully put the mission into his game plan, but
then dug out, right? Like
he
most
dug
of the way,
out.
yeah.
I was surprised by how well he dug out
Yep.
there, and kind of put Marcella on the back foot and said,
Yeah, it could have easily, if Frederic had gotten that last turn and he went before Marcella, he could have scooped. It would have been a 2-point game then. But still, very, very good by both players. So we're going to end the stream here in just a moment, but this will be the end of round 2. Round 3, I believe, starts about 4:30, might be 4:45. And we'll ping everybody once we're back online. But appreciate those who are listening, and in the future, appreciate those who will be there.
And we're signing off.
All right, and we get a little break. Yay!